Hey, what's going on, guys? So obviously I'm in San Antonio, Texas at the San Antonio Zoo. I haven't been to the zoo in years and years and years because I very rarely get down to San Antonio, being from Minnesota, but that's not important right now. What's important right now is that we're gonna go in and we're gonna take a tour of the San Antonio Zoo. And I really love this zoo, and it's not just because of all the animals you can find in there. There is something that is near and dear and special to my heart that is found at this zoo. And I'm gonna show you exactly what that is on this zoo tour of the San Antonio Zoo. That's a spectacled bear. And that's a plant. Okay. So unfortunately, it is not really Texas weather. It's kind of cold, kind of dreary, kind of rainy, which means that most of the animals that are outside that I really want to see are going to be like really lethargic, kind of like me on any given day. But we're going to see some cool stuff out here. Like this, the komodo dragon. So this is a female, and she laid how many eggs?
27.
27 eggs, 10 of them were fertile.
She's laying eggs as we speak.
Those are not fertile.
Those aren't gonna hatch. So right next to the komodo dragons, we've got reticulated pythons, one of my favorite pythons in the world, and the peekaboo retic. So right across the way from the komodo dragons is the aquarium. I really love aquariums, and when you go to a zoo and you see that they have aquariums, you always gotta go into the aquarium. But for now, we are gonna go, no, I'm kidding, we're going into the aquarium. Oh, it's closed. Oh, wait. Look at this. Look at that Zangu freshwater stingray. I don't know, I think freshwater stingrays are prettier than saltwater stingrays. And look at this, right over here we've got a fly river turtle in the Amazon exhibit. And we've got tinfoil barbs. Look at that clown knife down there. Right in the back, we've got a whole school of silver shark minnows. Those are cool. Right over here, look at this. We've got a lungfish. These guys are fish that are kind of trapped in evolution. They can actually breathe outside of water and obviously inside the water. And look at those pectoral fins. He kind of uses those as almost kind of like legs. Look at that. So this is what fish used to look like right before they evolved into amphibians. These guys are so cool. And then this may be my favorite aquarium display in this entire aquarium, because one of my favorite fish in the world are those little guys. Neon tetras, like 79 cents at any aquarium shop, the most common aquarium fish, and I just absolutely love them. I want a whole tank in my office of just neon tetras. But my other favorite tropical fish are these guys. Big old discus. Yeah, I literally want to transplant this entire aquarium right into my office. That is awesome. Over here we've got a whole display of moon jellyfish, and I love how they display them with the colors that change and kind of illuminate all those jellyfish. And look at these guys, the seahorses. So if you weren't already aware, it's the male seahorses that actually protect and give birth to the babies. Which I gotta say, I'm kind of glad is not the case with humans. All right, so right over here, we have my favorite thing to see in a zoo. This is the reptile house. Oh, like right off the bat, we've got a big old king cobra. God, that's a beautiful one too. And here in this Texas display, we've got a black-tailed rattlesnake, which are one of my favorite species of rattlesnakes. He's sitting on his tail so you can't see that his tail is almost velvet black right before the rattle. These guys are the kittens of rattlesnakes. They are so gentle. And a lot of people don't think about rattlesnakes being gentle because they have a really nasty reputation that they simply don't deserve. And look at this guy. This is the Louisiana pine snake, the most endangered pine snake in the world. But right up here, he's laying right across a timber rattlesnake. And you can see the segments of that rattle. And in the wild, they will break those segments off. So a lot of people think that you can tell the age of a rattlesnake by its rattles. And that's not true, because they break them off, and then every time it sheds, it grows a new button on its rattle. Really amazing snakes here. And here is one of the coolest rattlesnakes in the world. This is a Santa Catalina Island rattlesnake. And these are native to Santa Catalina Island off the coast of Mexico in the Gulf of California. And we actually went out to this island to see these guys. And these guys are unique because they have actually degenerated their rattles. They don't need them anymore out on the island. So all they have is a little button. And when they shake their tails like other rattlesnakes, they don't make noise anymore. And there's two different color phases. This one is the white white color phase, and there's also a brown color phase, which I don't see in this display. Bummer, but I like the white phase better anyway. Such a cool rattlesnake. Oh my God. That is a psychedelic gecko. These are native to a tiny little island off the coast of Vietnam, and it's a military island, so no civilians can get to it to find these. These are the first live specimens I have ever seen in my life. And look at those colors on them. You can definitely see why these guys are called psychedelic geckos. Okay, that is just too dang cool. I'm gonna just stay here right at this enclosure and stare at these guys for about 4 or 5 hours. I am completely geeking out over this display right now. So that is a black-headed bushmaster. This is the northernmost ranging of the bushmasters. There are 4 different types of bushmasters, actually. These are the guys that are found all the way up into Central America, into Costa Rica. I really want to find one of these in the wild. So out of all the iguanas in the world, the rock iguanas, their Cyclura is the genus name, they are the most endangered iguanas in the world. And of those, this is also one of the most endangered. This is the Cayman Island blue rock iguana. And apparently he's camera shy. So if you're watching my other channel, Dave Kaufman's Reptile Adventures, link in the description below, we just toured Reptilandia, and my friend Ketzel, who runs that zoo, also has these guys. These are Guatemalan beaded lizards, and these are one of the most rare venomous lizards in the world. It is so cool to come to zoos and actually see zoos working with these endangered lizards, because when I was in Guatemala and I actually found these in the wild, they're kind of in big trouble out there. Their numbers are dwindling out in the wilds of Guatemala. And pretty soon, the only place that you're gonna be able to see these are in zoos like this. And further, the only reason why you're gonna see them here is because of zoos' captive breeding initiatives to keep endangered species from actually going extinct. And that's another reason why zoos are so incredibly important. All right, let's head in to the birdhouse. There's a big bird. Whoa! Oh, this is cool. Right here, we have Bruce's green fruit pigeon. I can see the green, I can see the pigeon. You don't look like a Bruce and you don't look like a fruit, but I don't know you very well, so what do I know? And this guy is a great blue turaco. These guys are from Central Africa. These are pretty big birds, actually. And really good singers, apparently. All right, so right down here, we have what I assume is the Australia section. All right, let's head in to the Australian aviary, bird place. Ooh, pretty birdie in here. So this is kind of a cool exhibit. You've got a whole area down here for water birds and ground birds, tree birds. But over here, you've got, in the same enclosure, you've got a cliff that simulates a cliff for all the cliff nesting birds that are found in Australia. Pretty cool exhibit. All right, that's one of the coolest birds in Australia. That is a Victoria crowned pigeon. Beautiful plumage. And that is a Victoria pigeon. There's a lot of really cool pigeons in Australia. Not a lot of people know that Australia has the coolest pigeons in the world. And over here, they literally have a living dinosaur. That is a cassowary. And I've been to Northern Australia and I've really wanted to find these guys in the wild. I mean, just look at how cool they are with those like that neon blue head and that, well, I'll let you name that dangling thing right there. And these guys will mess you up. I mean, just look at those feet right there. They will kick you with those clawed feet and they can seriously cut you open. And then also here in the Australia section, we have the rare and highly endangered Australian tiger. Why is the tiger in the Australian section? Do you think that they just didn't have enough spots in the India section? Do they even have an India section here? I don't think they do. So they had to put it in the Australian section. All right, well, makes sense to me. When I was a young warthog. Damn, look at those tusks on that thing. Think about if people had teeth like that. We'd look cool. All right, so here we're heading into what I believe is Africa Live. I have no idea how they get the rhinos to actually do that to pose for this, but it's actually a really cool statue. All right, so we can either go down that way where it looks like there's a bunch of construction, or we can go to Long Necks and get a beer, or we can go up this direction. So this sculpture is really unique. It's called The Last Three, and it's the world's tallest rhino sculpture, and it features the last 3 remaining northern white rhinos supporting each other as the rarest species in the world. They actually have names, and it's Najin, Fatu, and Sudan. They are facing imminent extinction due to being hunted for their horn. We gotta stop that. And here we have a rhino coming out of its crate, and one over there. And once again, the rhino just shows me his butt. All right. there's gonna be a confrontation here. Because right here, we have a rhino traffic jam. So this is kind of cool. You can come up here on this deck, right over the rhinos, get a snack, sit here and eat, and then you can look down on the rhinos, which I don't see anymore. Or just, you know, look at what the rhinos left behind while you're eating, 20 feet away. So this right here is my little friend, a great-tailed grackle. We're just kind of hanging out right here, watching the rhinos together. He hasn't yet told me his name yet, but I'm probably gonna guess Steve. This is Steve, everybody. This is Steve, my new friend, a great-tailed grackle. Okay, so yeah, he just confirmed that his name is in fact Steve. I know, right? Totally cool rhinos. All right, so apparently Steve is afraid of the rhinos, which is kind of sad. What's there to be afraid of a rhino? Especially when you can fly away. So one of the things about this zoo that if I had a complaint about it, which I really don't, it's a really cool zoo, but if I did have a complaint about it, it would be that, you know, you pay $36 for the entrance fee to get into this zoo, and then if you want to go into like the kangaroo display, for instance, you have to pay extra money to get into those kinds of exhibits, which I think is kind of unfair. But then when you think about how much money it costs to house and care for all the veterinarians and all the food that they feed their animals, maybe we could pay a little extra, but I don't know. $36 to get in, and then you got to pay extra for all this added stuff. I don't know, comment below. Is that fair or is that not fair? Comment below and let me know. All right, so this ostrich has a bare butt, and I'm not sure why he has a bare butt. Usually when birds look like this, they were either came from some place that wasn't taking good care of them, or get stressed and start plucking their feathers out. So I'm gonna guess that this one probably hasn't been at the zoo for very long, but came in probably as a rescue. I mean, look at that. All of her feathers on her back are gone. That's kind of a bummer. All right, so here's the giraffes, and the cool thing about this is that, look at this. You can stand in line, get some food, and go feed the giraffes. So before I was talking about how some of the extras around this zoo cost a little bit of extra money, well, here at the giraffe feeding zone, they actually donate all the money from these ticket sales to a giraffe conservation fund. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna pay a little extra for some of the things that you're gonna do around the zoo, but it really all goes to a good cause. So I got my ticket, we are gonna go feed some giraffes. All right, giraffe, yes. Oh, is this my tip? You want that? There you go.
And he is our youngest at 11 years old.
At 11 years old?
Yeah.
Wow, he's pretty tall for an 11-year-old. What's his name?
Braden.
Braden. All right, so now that we've left the giraffes, I'm pretty certain there's gonna be elephants over here. Liars. Okay, look at this. These are painted dogs. And usually in an enclosure, they're way out there, but they just happen to be sleeping right by the window here. This is so cool. This is the closest I have ever been to a painted dog. And these are one of my favorite African species, just because I love dogs. As you walk into this cave, you see those cool painted dogs right over there. But look at this. This whole cave is designed like you're inside a termite mound, and they've got these big old gnarly termites, and you can kind of follow them as they go through their path with all their little chambers, and there's the big queen down there. But the coolest thing is look at this. They actually have a big ball python who, well, we kind of thought lived in termite mounds, but they do. But that's not the only place they live. But it's super cool to see that they implemented this ball python coiled up in a termite mound. And then when you turn around, you come over here and you see the coolest animals ever. These are elephants who have lost their trunks. Look at this hippo. Have you ever been this close to a hippo before? Where you can see all of their pores on their nose and how they close their eyes when they submerge, and all the little fish that are eating all that dead skin off of them. So hippos are the most dangerous animal in Africa. These kill more people in Africa than any other African species. And these Nile hippos can run faster than you, they can swim faster than you, and the only way to survive these guys is to run faster than the person standing next to you, or running next to you. He's like, I'm gonna go to sleep now. Apparently he is greatly entertained by this video. So they have a reptile house, and obviously an amphibian house. This is Amphibia. We are gonna head in. How cool is this? All right, so this is not an eel. That's actually an amphibian. It's like a cross between an eel and a fully aquatic salamander. This is called a siren. So this little frog is a really special frog. This is the Panamanian golden frog. These no longer exist in the wilds of Panama, even though these were a national symbol of Panama. Almost overnight, they completely disappeared because of the chytrid fungus. So scientists went down to Panama, collected basically all of them, distributed them to zoos around the world, and now those zoos are charged with taking care of these frogs, breeding these frogs, and then once the chytrid fungus is under control, every one of these frogs will go right back to Panama and be released in the wild. So every zoo that I go to that I see these guys, I know that one day this frog will be released back into the wild. And in here, in the night exhibit, is the most dangerous animal in Texas. That is a chupacabra, which is really cool that they have a chupacabra here. And they even have like a sign for the chupacabra. Not only that, but they have the range map of the chupacabra. The chupacabra is actually real. All right, so one of the things that I love about zoos are these bad boys. Mold-A-Rama. These are only found in a few select zoos around the country, but here at the San Antonio Zoo, you can find, I think, 6, maybe 7 of these. But look at this. They have a red gorilla, and over here, they have a green rhino. And I am gonna get both of these. These are $5 each. When I was a kid, they were 25 cents each. And I had to bug my dad for quarters whenever we went to the zoo, of which he gave me. And that is where I fell in love with these guys. Oh yeah, there he is. And he goes into the chute. And we now have a red gorilla. This is like a total geek out moment for me right now. And the coolest part about this, oh, that smell that takes me right back to my childhood. Love that smell. So now you see why I love zoos like the San Antonio Zoo. This place is a really cool zoo. If you live in Texas or the surrounding area, it's worth a trip to the San Antonio Zoo. So anyway, be sure to comment below and let me know your opinion on some of the topics that I brought up during this video. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. And until the next animal adventure, love the planet, feed your animal obsession, and rattle on.